Hey, we're back again. Another episode of Cardboard Conversations. As always, 7 p.m. Saturday nights. I'm Pat, and I'm also thankful. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. And Bob, Matt, how you fellas doing?
Doing pretty good. Actually, I was just finishing up sleeving up my new idea for a Lorcana deck versus Ursula. Got some cards in today. I showed you the order this week. Non-trivial. I'd say probably in the last 2 weeks I've been maybe irresponsible spending around probably $2,000 or so. I think
Modern Horizons 3 just came out, so I think you're not the only one in the trading card market currently that has spent way too much.
Yeah, I didn't spend any. I spent zero on
Zero. Didn't get in on any of it?
Nope.
I spent $600 on a mobile game.
Wow, that's why.
What are you talking about?
It's a gotcha game called Wuthering Waves. It's a really good game. I want them to succeed, so I want to give them money.
I get that.
That's at least applaudable. Laudable that you believe in something, so you're putting your money behind it to give it success. Not because you're chasing value or you're tapping that vein of I got to feed this addiction.
There's no value gained. I mean, I gained in-game value, but there's no actual value to what I did.
Even still, just as long as it's not out of an addiction base, right? Your response is a responsible, reasonable thing. Now, so long as it fits in your budget.
Yeah, I've given Path of Exile thousands of dollars, and it's strictly all microtransactions that are designed for making your character look cool. And it's strictly because, one, I think the stuff that they make looks cool, but two, because I want the game to succeed because it's a banger-ass game.
I mean, that's why I threw a couple $100 at Path of Exile when you and I were playing, right? To get whatever, like the storage or whatever. It's because it's a free game, and I'm like, wow, these guys really do deserve to get some cash. When I look at the business model of things like Diablo 4, where I'm just like, no.
That was one of the things with D4 is the only reason I played any of it was because I got it for free with a sandwich or a subscription service I already pay for.
Yeah, I paid $100. Is really weird. It's kind of like a nice oil check for anybody that actually paid real money for it.
Oh, I did.
Dude.
Yeah, me too.
Been there, done that. I cannot tell you. I've probably spent $100 on buying Minecraft over and over and over. I feel like the fucking Skyrim. 3 minutes. I made it 180 seconds in before an F-bomb. So give it what I got. Wow. As far as that, I mean, there are some games, like you were saying, Matt, that you want to support. You want them to do well. So sometimes the only way you can do that is by giving them money in some way or another. And unfortunately, with trading card games, the only way you can do that is hitting them up on Kickstarter if they're new enough or if they're established in a real way. Hey, nice to see you, Ed. Glad to have you here. Or if you want to support, a reasonably released game, you buy their product, you buy their boxes, or you show up, attend their events if they hold them,
Sure. So I even made an offer to the to my how does he say local LGS?
Yes,
to bring the co-op version, the Ursula's Quest, to his shop and just sit there and be willing to teach maybe a couple times a month people how to play that format. The problem is that he's not running any events because he can't get enough product. So there's still a little bit of that. I kind of wanted to touch on some of that today, where I feel it's getting better because at least you can buy them at a reasonable price on the boxes on digital sites, at least TCG Player, other vendors. You can get boxes. Some SKUs of the product are available at box stores, like you guys have seen them at Walmart's and I've seen them at Meijer and other things. So it's getting better. I don't know if it's in the optimal place yet. It really needs to exist in the LGSs so that they can have consistent audience, game events going. And clearly it's popular enough that they just get wiped out when they get their distribution. So We'll see where that goes. I think there's still some way to go to fine tune that. But let's give it some room to breathe. It's less than a year old, right?
Well, I think
So
that for me, that's one of the best signs for a trading card game is when it is not that available. When you have an unlimited supply of something, that becomes an issue to me. And I think we saw that for way too
Flesh
long in
blood.
Magic the Gathering. And in the last 6 to 12 months, there's been a dramatic shift in product availability. And I think that's one of the reasons why Fallout had the, eh, skyrocket in value that we've seen, and why I think Modern Horizons 3 is still holding its certain price point as well, is that it is holding a price point. To speak to Dual Brain here, what do we think about Fallout? I wish I had more of it. That's my biggest problem. Is I wanted to open it. I wanted to play it. I wanted to have it in my decks. I'm glad I got the 2 boxes I did at the ridiculous Amazon pre-order. If you're not doing that, you're losing out on value. So I was able to open one. I was able to keep some cards, put them in my decks, really enjoy the thematic crossover with one of my favorite games with one of my favorite games. So for me, it was a home run, but a single. That was no grand slam, because you could have just put more out and people would have really enjoyed it that much. What do you guys think? How are you thinking about Fallout here a couple weeks afterward?
Personally, I think the collector boxes are they're popping off. I mean, I'm happy because I have 2 of them, and I got them for like $360 something, and they're $600 and almost $40. I think it's okay that they're that expensive because there's the commander decks, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's the commander decks that you can still get as a 4 set for $174, and you get every card in the set, right? If I remember correctly, this was the one where, like, if you had all 4 collector decks, you have the entire set of the cards that come
it's
out.
kind of true, but it's also kind of not.
You don't have
There
all the
were cards that were only available in collectors packs that had the Vault Boy treatment, like Nuka-Cola. Nuka-Cola vending machine was in one of the pre-cons because it had a regular version. But something like Ravages of War, the Destroy All Lands card, that was not in any of the pre-constructed decks. The only way you could get that was in the collectors. And
Yeah,
same
but that's
thing
a
with
reprint, right?
it is a reprint, but of a card that had a very low print quantity. And because it was a more modernized reprint of it, I don't think I had ever known that that was a card. Not that my group ever really screws around with like Destroy All Land cards, but for some gross people, seeing a Portal 3 Kingdoms reprint really tickled their gross fancy.
I don't know. I think it was a smashing success. I don't really see anything wrong
Yeah.
that they did with it. I think that, and I mean, even Modern Horizons 3, not as strong. It's definitely plummeting in price, kind of as we expect, but like the play boxes are way too high. I don't understand how they're $244 still. It blows my mind. Like I don't know. My play box only made $164. It did not do very well at all, but I did have fun drafting it with my friends. We did a draft and a sealed, and that was enough for 4 people to entertain ourselves for a couple hours, and we had fun building 2 decks. I don't know. It was still a good time. It was just one of those things where it's like $244 when you can only open 160, and maybe I got a really bad box. It was good before the release.
Bob, did you play any of the Fallout games? If so, did that have any excitement for you when the set came out?
No, I didn't play any Fallout. It had no allure for me in that regard. And as far as pricing, I don't think any product, and I warn you, even about Lorcana or anything else that comes out.
Listen to this guy.
The data is not. There's not enough data here to make a judgment call in any fashion, right? We have no idea what the sustainability of any of this is. We're right in the midst of hype and the honeymoon phase. And in all honesty, I mean, you're gonna, unless you're the people that get excited about this flipping kind of stuff are the same people that try to time the stock market, right? And over time, you're going to find that that's just not going to pan out. Like, people will preach about their successes and hide their failures. So what will happen is people will talk about it in the hype period and just ignore it when it doesn't suit their purpose of saying, oh, look how great they did. Or looking at boxes like the Commander Legends collector boxes that skyrocketed, 3 times their value and then plummeted right back down, and so many other things. The ridiculous prices of the flesh and blood boxes, the once $10,000 a box flesh and blood welcome to Wraith that are now $2,000-$3,000. And the same the same thing goes for most of the flesh and blood products that people are a little too anxious. We'll see, Ed. There's not enough data is my answer, right?
I think it was a great timing for it.
Sure, but there's no guarantee they won't reprint it.
I got to give them the most credit for that. As far as the timing of the release of the product and the release of the show, it was surprisingly close for me for something that takes so much time to coordinate. That was surprisingly well executed. Whereas there were so many other crossovers, like, I don't know what next year the Final Fantasy set is going to coincide with. I don't know that there's any other game coming out.
Hold on. In that same vein, we are again right in the early stages. The Big Bang looked a lot different than it does now, in historical terms, and we're in that period. Let's take a look back at a very similar thing, which was the Warhammer 40K. Beloved IP came out like gangbusters, and then what did WotC decide to do with it? They reprinted it. Like, they waited for a while, waited to burn through all their inventory. 6, 8, 10 months later, oh, hey, we reprinted it. And now it's not so fantastic. So this is not an IP that they can't reprint. I'm sure they're still in their print period. I'm pretty sure they didn't just sign an exclusive deal. Hey, we're only going to do one print run. You think that fucking Fallout people care? No. They give them probably a time frame to print the product. And I'll bet they're looking at it. And if they need to hit that button because profits are waning and they think it's a real, profitable thing that they could just reprint. Actually, Ed, I think it is a bit different, and I'll say this. It's a bit easier to print the collector boxes than it is to print the commander decks, right?
Really?
The commander decks have to have lots of different... They're harder to produce, right? Simply because of just how they are. There are different things that go into them. It's much easier just to reprint packs, shove them into collector boxes, and ship them out the door.
Yeah, but they can't reprint collector boxes unless they're like scamming people.
Why can't they?
Why not?
Because there's serialized cards in them.
Yeah.
You'd have to like label them as something else that don't have serialized cards.
Okay, no, you can. Just go look at Lord of the Rings. They reprinted those collector boxes.
No, they didn't.
The hell they didn't.
They labeled them as something else. That's different.
They're still collector boxes. They just packaged it differently. They can reprint it.
But most of the lore of opening a collector box is getting the serialized cards. Like, nobody opens the collector boxes hoping for anything but a serialized card.
Again, they reprinted them. They just added different serialized cards.
I don't know. I don't really consider that a reprint. I mean, it is because it's a reprinting of a same card, but like, it's different. It's a little shady.
That's true, Ed. I'm just saying that we don't know yet. We don't know what kind of buttons they're going to push. There is no consistency in the last 5 years of their behavior with any product line. So, I just don't trust them.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, there's definitely been no consistency with Magic the Gathering product lines without a stretch. I mean, between theme boosters and set boxes, there's been such a consistent and constant evolution in their product line, and it's all, as we should know, aimed specifically at getting more fucking money from people. It's a company. Like, if you don't look that right in the face, you'll be constantly disappointed and let down with the company in the long run because you're not seeing it as a company. It's not.
And that's what I'm saying.
Uncle. It's somebody that wants to make a dime. But
that's my point, Pat, is that we don't have enough time between release to talk about the success of it. And we've seen way too many product lines, differences that are successful for a period. And then they go and do something and bungle it all up.
I got to argue with Ed right here. However, I think it'll behoove them to make a Fallout 2 set for the second season than rather a serialless reprint. Say that a few times fast. I don't think so. I think they would make a freaking mint if they just made another special collector edition of it. You know, a holiday version of Fallout.
Right.
I think
that's what they did with Lord of the Rings.
So much money.
They had serialized cards in the second Lord of the Rings
success. I had
in the second Commander set or second Collector set. So we'll see how things settle over time.
Yeah,
and to say massive success right at the forefront of it, and it's a collector market. It's something that's supposed to exist for long periods of time. We can't say how
the same cost. That's the ticket. If they put out another collector box and they knew from the beginning, I got my pre-orders at $241 and change. That is ridiculous. And honestly, disheartening when I look at the current box value because I sold my shit. But if they were to put out another box, they could easily sell it for $350. Nobody would bat an eye. Oh my God, it was $600+ I can get it at this. People would eat that shit up, even if it didn't have serial cards, which I don't think anybody realistically thinks about when they're opening a box. I gotta say that, Matt. People hope for it, but nobody thinks that that's a real thing that happens unless you're like fucking Lance or something.
I think it's something like 1 in 11,000 packs or some crazy number.
Yeah, like I am luckier to snag a blonde.
Well, I mean, addressing what Ed's saying, yeah, I agree. They're not going to reprint, just go put back to the mill the same cards with the same treatments with the same serialized foils. But it's not hard to literally just go back into their, their what are they using? Probably Adobe Photoshop Pro. Make a couple of tweaks
the colors
in here.
And call it Midnight Hunt double feature.
It's not that hard.
That's why I was so angry so fast. I was like, oh yeah, we'll just put it in black and white. It'll be great. Or they do the whole thing in like a weird isometric top-down angle. And they're like,
what I would see them doing is doing like a radiation version where everything has a green tinge to it, like a radiation foiling.
That's so easy. Yeah,
right. It wouldn't be that hard, Ed. And all I'm saying is that trying to declare that it's a smashing success and to this point, sure. But for me, I'm more of a collector, and that's really what this product is aimed at. Not really players, but more collectors, because it's making its noise based off of the artwork, not because of the cards that are in it. So I mean, and there are some decent cards, and I'm not saying there aren't good cards in it, but what's making it special, what makes it stand out, is the IP and the art that's on it. Period. End of story. Like, you're not going to convince me that that's not the reason that the Fallout boxes were so tremendously successful.
Oh yeah,
so,
no, 100%. We way behind you with that. It's the thematic crossover that is what makes me as a Fallout fan enjoy it. There isn't an absurd level of power. I think that Modern Horizons 3 precons, any single one of them would be any single one of the Fallout crossover precons. So if you're looking at power level, no, doesn't have it with any of their main tentpole releases. As far as like cards that were printed in the Fallout crossover series, all of their serialized cards are fucking mid. Like, they're not even like worth having. At least in Brothers War, some of those artifacts were really good.
Sure.
I mean, in this, it's all about the crossover of the IP. Grim Reaper's Sprint. Oh man, I've got some like power armor now. This is awesome. But
I don't know, Ed. I mean, that's a very interesting statement there about the grading of cards, because you have the same flipper Timmies in the graded card market that are just out there to make a quick buck, are not really part of the collector. Honestly, to me, the collector market starts after the product's been around for a long time. And that's just my personal take on it. I don't know how you define really what a collector is. But traditionally speaking, they're just not old enough to really show their strength as a collectible, right? Beanie Babies look great for a hot minute. Pogs were great for a hot minute. Pez was great for a decade. But, the staying power of a collectible, like stamps and coins and some of these things, even the Magic cards, you got to look to the gold standards, the alpha cards, the beta cards, the ones that are surviving after 30 years, the more rarefied air for the collectible market. Because in all honesty, it seems like Magic and many other games, including Flesh and Blood that we were talking about prior to the show, have just given the big middle finger to the collector market. They call it that they want to appeal to collectors, but they don't.
Well, and then you've got the flip side where Flesh and Blood is completely all about the player base. They don't care, it seems, about the collector side of it. I mean, there are marvels, air quote, that they say are, made for the collectors, the people that want the specialty items. But
this is where I think Ed and I agree. When you're manufacturing that scarcity, it doesn't have a natural homogeneous growth, right? It is forced scarcity, a forced collectible. And in my very unprofessional opinion, when you try to make something collectible, it's pretty much the opposite. Wow, dead air. But I mean, I'm happy to see success to some extent. At least they're, if it's a life raft to keep them, floating along. I think that at least they're getting more positive press out of the last few sets. I think even Outlaws it wasn't raving success, but people seem fairly happy with it, and that follow that up with or at the same time, I don't know exactly when the Fallout fell into that picture, but I'm glad that that's doing well, followed on by MH3 apparently making the public pretty happy. I think that's positive news, is good news for Magic, and it'll keep it in a positive light in the public. So I think that that's beneficial for it. The positive press certainly doesn't hurt. I think Cynthia Williams departing is probably on par with if Disney booted Kathleen Kennedy at the moment. Because, boy, have you guys been watching the hate on the Acolyte?
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of stuff online. Yeah, it's been getting more shit than cat litter.
I think it's the worst audience rating I've ever seen on Rotten Tomatoes. And what a disparity between the audience rating and the critic rating. It's so bad. It's making like non-movie review places mention it.
Yeah.
Like it's bad. It's very, very bad.
It's going from like unknown to infamous pretty quickly.
Right. Like notorious would be probably a better description, but it's so bad and pissing so many people off that it's making news outside of Star Wars and streaming services. Like, it's affecting Disney.
So two things. Thank you again for chat. You guys are awesome. I love the interactions we get to have. Unfortunately, Prime's here as well. I got somebody gave him a wrench.
Poor Prime.
Every time. Damn it. So I agree with Ed's agreement that Magic the Gathering has definitely been making positive strides of late. And that is great to see. As someone who's got dozens of pounds of Magic cards sitting around him in this room, I'm glad to see Magic do better than worse. I don't think any of us honestly want to see it do poorly.
No.
And with some of the things down the barrel, aside from Assassin's Creed, I think we've got a lot of
let's
really
not talk about that. That's one we just gonna like.
Yeah, we're gonna be positive for a while, but then we'll round back to Magic later on. Don't worry. As
No,
far
we're
as
just
Star
gonna
Wars,
ignore that one and skip right to Bloomborough, right? Which is,
so
that's another win on
Star
the
Wars
horizon.
is dead. Come on, Prime. I
Bro,
mean,
it's bad. It's so bad. You should just Google Star Wars on
so the problem is, if you
YouTube.
put in unlimited after Star and Wars, you come up with a very different aspect.
Sure,
That's what's really odd to me is
but it's not
how
made by Disney.
right. They bought that license, but they're making money. And honestly, at this point, I bet Star Wars Unlimited has made more than Star Wars Acolyte has brought in money.
You might. No, I'll bet you Star Wars Acolytes in a hole. They said it cost. They said it was 17 times more expensive.
More people have interacted with it, hands down. Yeah.
No, they said it was 17 times more expensive than, I can't remember what movie it was, but it was a successful movie. And I was like, ooh.
Those still frames are pretty.
$100
Well, if it's a good quality one, those still frames are.
I mean,
It
if
was
you
all a
like
bunch of common
Godzilla
common
-1,
garbage.
yeah, I mean, you can make a great movie with a little bit of money. Shit, The Back Rooms. Literally, one guy named Kane made millions of dollars off of using just Blender, which I think is like a $20 program. So it comes down to like vision and execution. And the people that are doing Star Wars at this point, as far as their like media franchise, that's not get a plunger. It's gross.
Oh, but they're what's crazy is that they're doubling down on it, like defending it, and like, oh,
yeah,
just wow. It's like a chef making a poopy platter and then coming out and saying, well, you're just uneducated palate, like, and you're the one paying his salary. And like the whole restaurant says, this tastes like shit. And he says, you all don't know what you're talking about. Like, that's exactly what this is. Like, okay.
At least Austin Powers knew when he was drinking shit instead. He's okay, this is nutty. Owned up. He realized that he had a mouthful of it. But the current heads in some of the Disney productions are just absolutely ridiculous. I like that some other media outlets, production companies and whatnot are not trying to do the wokeism. If anything, they fight completely against it, which is one of the reasons why I think like Deadpool and some of the harder rated Marvel stuff gets such a great reception because of the anti-hero kind of stuff.
Period.
And
there's just at some point there will be a backlash.
Yeah.
And it's gonna come, it'll bite him even harder than it is on the bottom line right now. Like it just,
I think low key, honestly, though, Bob, that's one of my worries with Lorcana is how they have to continue to toe a line of cuteness and widely accepted normal beauty standards. Anybody can be anything. I mean, we're going to see Wreck-It Ralph in a dress soon enough in the next crossover series.
Now, I hear you, and I worry about that. I think about that. Like, is Disney, with their clear agenda pushing, like, methodology lately, are they going to force Ravensburger to start putting in the more controversial things, like all the non-binary stuff into their card game? And you know what I mean? Like, they seem to have tap danced around it so far so well, but at some point, in order to keep having fresh material,
and
I worry that there's going to be some not so awesome things coming down the pipe for Lorcana in that regard.
I liked Wreck-It Ralph, but that indulged a softer side of me that I usually don't get to express. I spent about 6 hours playing games with a buddy earlier today, Baldur's Gate 3. And I was playing The Dark Urge. If you never played the game, this is like the anti-hero, except he's more like a villain because he legitimately is just murdering party members the whole time. At one point, I ate one of my party members in front of everybody else to let them know I meant business. And I think that type of storytelling is one of the reasons why Larian did so well with that IP. And it really speaks to a certain type of audience that wants a certain type of experience. Grand Theft Auto. The trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6 broke the internet, literally broke Twitter when it came out.
Yeah,
I don't think Lorcana will ever have that type of hype, that type of excitement, because it doesn't drive people in the same way. It doesn't have a visceral experience where someone gets to escape their real life. It's nice to have the fantasy and everything, but that's one of the reasons why I enjoy Flesh and Blood. It's gross, it's gory, it's gritty, it's real, and it's hard.
But it's also, to be fair, not the target audience, right? And I had a long conversation with Sherry Vegas, poor girl, that Bob goes on Bob rants with Sherry Vegas.
Woman,
It's like, we need to tip her and give her some kudos because she puts up with me all week. You guys only have to put up with me for a couple of hours a week. But we were having this discussion that it's just a bad idea, whether you're Nike, and I'm just going to go full demonetization here. With like Bud Light. I don't know if you're familiar with all of the current like scandals, Planet Fitness, Bud Light, Nike, Rip Curl, all these people that just make bad decisions to appeal to somebody.
They pandered. They bent a knee and unfortunately got hit in the back of the head because they were an easier target. That
is not their target audience. It is great. I was talking with Dragon Folk, Alex, that Flesh and Blood, I think, does need to appeal to a broader audience, to a more casual audience, right? But not at the expense of getting rid of its core audience. And we see it happen in video games. We're seeing it happen in product lines like Bud Light. I mean, talk about the biggest, they didn't just shoot themselves in the foot. They just aim for everything below the hip. And you've got to do these things where you're expanding your business base, broadening it. And $40.
So I went past the first couple pages. We are on page 3 of sealed product. This is the
first edition, 41. Oh,
$41
right next to it. 41 for an original, $160 a case.
I need to buy more of those.
Dude, I'm just bad. I have a case of it. I have a case of Everfest too.
I've got 3 cases of that. I spent well over $600 for.
Ow. But I don't think it's because they necessarily aren't appealing to their core audience base. I don't think they've stepped in the poop quite yet. I think that going to the just all in wonder and print as much of it as you want was a mistake. I think that the unlimited with the first print was a smarter move. I think it's been bad since. However, what I'm talking about when you're not appealing to your core audience, clearly the Dylan Mulvaney route did not work well for more than one company.
Yeah,
and and I don't think it would be wise for Lorcana to appeal to a more visceral, darker audience of lopping heads off of Mickey and Minnie. Well, like it'll gain a certain audience, but it would probably turn off who they're really trying to target, just like Disney's done.
Yeah,
they're turning off the Star Wars audience because of just the wokeness. Let's just put it the way it is. They're turning off the family audiences with every film that's coming out from Pixar now has non-binary LGBTQ. It's not about the story. It's not like The Incredibles, right? Which was incredible. I love that. I even like The Incredibles 2. But when you sacrifice the story for an agenda, no matter what the agenda is, you're losing.
And to that point, the hero's journey is one of the things we strive after because it's one of the things we want in our own lives. Right. It's tried and true over the years. We've got hundreds of years of the hero's journey being an epic we all lewd after, right? Now, to remove that, where step one, she's a girl, so of course she just beats all the aliens to death, and there's no story arc of loss and growth. And without that, you can certainly tell a story. Without a doubt, One Punch Man breaks that entire mold. Step one, kills everything, one punch. That's his whole deal. But you have to lean into it. When you don't, and it's just for power and pride, it comes off as untrue and unworthwhile. And I think that if that comes over into some trading card game area, you're mixing untold power with what should be a growth cycle. So, I mean, you've got to have kind of a shitty card and it gets better. That's one of the reasons why, like, Jace and the entire planeswalker cycle. They have to have something terrible happen to them to ignite their spark and become powerful. To take that away from a character is to neuter them.
Well, I don't even think they care about like the character development in the Disney realm. And where I was going with that is I hope it doesn't bleed over into Lorcana. Like they're going to force Ravensburger at some point to have to address that. And I think that may be a bumpy road. It's a challenge they're going to have to navigate for sure. I'm sure they already do.
Hashtag White Mulan.
Dude, they will shoot you dead just for saying that.
What? What are you talking about?
Wrong kind of race.
Are you saying white people can't be born there? That couldn't be part of
it. Would be like switching up Frozone to make him white, right? You have people up in arms. And I love him. I thought it was an awesome character. One of my favorite in The Incredible. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Or just like going back in Aliens, super buffing up Ridley. Like, oh, she wasn't badass enough in the first Alien movie and the Alien series. So we're going to go back and we're going to put, a big non-binary they, them in instead that just kills everything and they don't even need the Marines.
Can you imagine if they started putting pronouns on magic cards?
Dude, they're already trying to with Nico. What is that?
So the office I work in, I showed up like 2 weeks ago, says Patrick Pipitone. It's got some like weird numbers to identify like my workstation, and then it says he/him. And I just kind of looked around. I was like, who's this for?
It's for you. It's for you, Pat.
Right. What did you just tune into?
Yeah, right. I don't know. It happens. Bob talks about this every week. I don't know.
I do.
You bring up the agenda thing quite often,
bruh. I'm behind this argument.
I
don't
care.
I lean into it.
You can bring in sparkly people. I don't care as long as the gameplay's good. I mean, now granted, this is a little strange for me to say because I won't play Lorcana because of what it looks like. I don't like Disney, so I don't play it. So I don't even know if the game's good because I'm not giving it at the time of day because of I don't want to play with, Disney characters. I don't know. It just doesn't resonate with me in any way. So I don't know, but I don't see harm in I don't know. Maybe pandering is probably the wrong word, but. To an audience.
Oh, really? Ask Bud Light about it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Really? Are you serious?
I don't watch TV.
Wow.
If you watch TV, you'd know. I don't watch TV.
So I don't watch TV.
Not even like So
I have absolutely no clue what you're
Bud Light is they, pride flags, all the normal new age wokeism, and their stocks, they lost billions of dollars over the whole thing. So they decided that it wasn't a good idea. It wasn't even a
commercial. It was. They made a special like Bud Light can for Dylan Mulvaney, and Dylan Mulvaney put it on social media, and they lost 80% of their sales.
Yeah, it was.
And they have not recovered.
And then they like brought back the old Clydesdale like draft.
Yeah, they're trying hard to recover that. They're like, oh, let's shut it down. That's not looking so good. And their audience is
Sunday's NASCAR
What's
rally.
That?
How long ago was this?
In the
a year and a half ago?
Yeah, 2 years.
And then Nike did the same thing.
It looks like their stock recovered just fine then, because it's back up to $60.
Not Bud Light.
I'm looking at Anheuser-Busch. Their stock is $60 right now, and their lowest
look at Bud Light sales. It's specific to that brand, and they're making it up in other ways. And the stock market's also at all-time highs. So I wouldn't say that they're making it up. Their stock dipped a lot, but the Bud Light sales dropped 80%.
I think people that drink Bud Light probably don't appreciate that kind of.
Okay, that's my point. And guess what? Parents with normal kids in normal everyday America don't want to see that either. It's clear. Their movies are flopping.
A traditional
and how it relates, Coach, is it's tied to like what's the path for Lorcana? How do they avoid those pitfalls when the parent company, if you want to call it that, has the IP? I just hope. My point was, I hope they don't force them to have to start drinking their Kool-Aid.
I mean, the same. I don't know if I want to go here, but the same could be said about slavery. A lot of people were okay with slavery until we changed it, and we're like, you know what? Probably not a good idea. I think that's kind of a similar situation to where
I think
there
that's
are a lot of people.
a bizarre association.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
gonna
You
go
have
ahead. I'm
nothing to
gonna.
do with each other.
I think it's similar.
I
think
think
that
owning a human being is a little bit different than
being
Pushing a
oppressed
social agenda.
is more of a. If you feel like you're in that, I'm trying to be devil's advocate. If you feel like you're in that position where you feel oppressed and you feel like
You're
can't be
talking
yourself,
about oppressed marginalization, but that's not at all the same thing here. You don't marginalize people because you didn't make any reference to sexuality before, but suddenly you pick a spokesperson that is clearly pushing an agenda, Dylan Mulvaney. That is a very different thing than espousing anything to do with slavery.
they're trying to change the way that people think about non-binary and all of those other LGBTQs and make it more normalized so it's not so taboo to think about it or talk about it and make it more normalized. So
Ooh, speaking of more normalized, what do you guys think about foil etch cards being in more Magic the Gathering products? I mean, I know we're seeing it in a lot of collector products, and I like that it's not in your regular play boosters. It makes it something you kind of got to chase after. I personally, ever since we started seeing them in Commander Legends, I've been a huge fan of the foil etch treatment. And from time to time, when it's on like a artifact or a swamp black card, right? You get like Phyrexian Altar with the contrast in the black and silver artwork. I think it looks great. What is your opinion on the foil etching treatment, fellas?
they should just replace all foils with foil etch because they don't Pringle.
Holy shit, that is a good take. Hashtag.
If they could fix Pringling, I'd be cool with it. But like, they can't. They clearly can't.
I liked how they did it in Commander Legends, right? That it was a pretty rare thing to come by, but then they Watsified, right? And so it's not really all that special. And many of them are just truly.
Wasn't Commander Legends in every single pack? There was a foil etch in every single pack, wasn't there?
No, hell no. No, there were like 5
There was
or
a foil
6
in every pack, but not a foil etch.
No, foil etching was pretty rare in Commander Legends. That's one of the reasons why they were sought after. Specifically, again, to Bob's point, them bitches stayed flat, like my last X.
No, that was Matt's point. That was Matt's point. He said that, and I agree with the flatness, but I don't think that's a reason you should go to the foil etch. I think you should make flat foils, period. Figure it out. Other companies have, not rocket science. But that doesn't justify, taking something that should be fairly rare and then just Watsifying it, because they do it with everything. So it makes everything, it's the whole everything special, so nothing special. I did like some of them, but to be quite frank, many of them are too dark and they're hard to read. And I think it diminishes the art in many cases to where it's like, wow, that's really dark. I don't like that near as much as I like the bright art on the just base card that's just more vibrant. So I think that they have some work to do there. I think the borders look cool as shit, but many times the art is a little diminished and it's sometimes hard to read the darker background of the text.
Yeah, if you've got like a multicolored card, if you're running something that's like Simic, sometimes the transition from one color to another can definitely muddle some of the background.
So, I mean, I like the idea of it. I like the flatness of it. I don't like that they've just made them common as candy corns. And you're not like, woohoo, I pulled a foiled etch, unless it's like a baller card.
I don't know. From what I've been seeing of MH3's collector openings, they seem not super common, but not particularly rare. I'll certainly give you that. But
I literally have one sitting staring me in the face, like the Lathril, right? And it's like it doesn't make me go woohoo. It's like a dollar card.
Yeah, it's still cool though. It's definitely a premier.
I do like it, and I play it because it is flat, to Matt's point. I like that in my deck, but I mean, it's not really in my deck. She's my commander, but I like that it doesn't sit there reminding me that I have a Pringle sitting on the playmat.
And on that note, speaking of Matt and Premier, Coach asked Matt, "How did you like your Modern Horizons 3 box?"
Which one? I'm assuming the collector box because I don't think I hadn't posted anything about the play box that I opened as well. I liked it when I opened it. I like it a lot less that the set's released.
The financial
at the end
side
of the video,
of
I
it.
did like a price comparison of like how much I made, opening the box and scanning the cards and taking all the crap out. Looking at the collection now, it's only worth $418 now. So I'm now breaking even, which still isn't terrible. It's not the worst.
It's breaking even until you actually try to sell it, and then what are you going to get?
Yeah,
for
then
it?
you lose about 15% on that, or 15 to 20%. So it's not breaking even anymore. I don't know if this is just a surge. I also paid another problem that I paid $420. Blaze it.
Wait, 420?
On the collector box from my LGS, which was a good deal at the time. But now they're kind of bouncing all over the place. They're as low as like $370. Now they're $390. But
was
then
that 420 with tax or before tax?
Yeah, 420 out the door. It was cheap. Okay. It was like $15 cheaper than what TCG was at the time. Now TCG being $391, times that by 0.08 or whatever. Is tax still 8 cents on the dollar? I actually don't know what tax is
in your county.
6%. Sure. That's what I pay.
Not here in Medina County.
I don't know. I'm assuming it's 8%. 391,
one of the highest in the nation.
9.8.
Jeez Louise, that's not great.
We also have pretty high property tax here too.
So that's like $422. So now, if you were to buy it now, it's like roughly right at around 420. And I would say that like you could still open. Like my box was pretty bad. Like the Eldrazi that I opened was bad. I opened the worst ones. My box overall was like pretty bad. So it's probably still like I don't know. I had a good time opening it. I had a good time drafting it. I opened a play booster of it. I still think play boosters are a smashing success. I enjoy them very much. My friends all enjoyed it. We're probably going to do another draft this next week, even though opening a play box is like way worse because they're like $244, and I don't see how you get your money back unless you pull like crazy things. Fetch lands are like $10 now. Like I don't know, man.
Again, I think it comes back not always about getting your money back, but what you're spending your money on. If you're having a draft experience out of that $250, then I think 4 people are having a great time. If you're not, pulling all the Praetor artwork and the concept borderless, cool. That's a separate discussion. If you're looking just to like, I've got $500. How do I have the most return? Probably just put your money in fucking index. Like don't do magic. Like that's if you want to open cards and do that, well shit, buy a couple cases of Flesh and Blood, try and get a legendary or a Marvel and flip on that. I mean,
Rudy did a sale on the Mistveil set. And I was looking at it. I thought about buying it. I hem-hawed. It was like $369 for a case of the new set, which is 4 boxes. It's like just barely at TCG's price, which is like it always seems like he tries to go like slightly below TCG low. And I'm like, that's like not that great of a deal.
Yeah.
But you also get a graded Deep Blue Sea, which sells for it looks like anywhere between $50 and $100 on eBay, depending on the grade. So it's like it was a good deal, but then like I don't know if I would like open it or you probably want to open it because like the boxes seem to be kind of flat, and then like the singles have the chance of being very good. But like there's like that $4,000 in that what's it called? Enigma New Moon. Like it looks fantastic. She's real cute. You've got it's probably a good hero, I imagine.
Shit. That's a question right there, Coach. Okay, fuck. Okay, I think this also to the comment section. How would you enjoy your interaction with Magic more? A play booster box shared with friends or opening a collector box by yourself? And I think to honestly even this out for price value, doing that twice. Opening a play booster box and having 2 drafts with friends or just creaming all over your thighs with the collector booster box by yourself?
No, I have an outlandish concept or a scenario. If I could open a serialized card in the collector box, like if I opened it, it would be more exciting than playing with my friends. But other than that, I'd rather just play draft, with friends. Because I've done a lot of this set already. I did the pre-release for Modern Horizons 3. I played booster box. I opened the collector box, and the set is fantastic. The Eldrazi's are super fun to play. You can build around them. They can just be a splash in the deck, or they can be part of the deck, as like a synergy. They kind of just fit in a lot of different situations, which is great. I don't know. I've experienced it in many different ways, and I think the set's fantastic. It's great. I plan to play it on Arena. It's already
Either
out.
one shared online with all my friends worldwide. You're not talking about the creaming on the thighs thing, right?
He might be. I don't know.
Shit.
I wasn't part of the choices, but I guess
I mean, maybe he's making more money on the internet than I am. There's a lot of alternative payment methods. Honestly, I think having the fun with friends is something to be said about that. Hanging out, having pizza, turning cards sideways, the excitement of, oh shit, what did Jordan just get in that pack? Ha ha ha, sucker, he's been passing me all the blue cards. He can't use that. There's a certain amount of fun going down to your local gaming store and having fun.
I see what you did there.
There's something about just hanging out at home. I'm a bit of an introvert. Imagine that, someone who has a podcast, but I like being alone and doing things by myself. So sitting here, drinking some coffee, smoking a bogue, and just open a box by myself. That's how I ended up interacting with my Fallout collector box. Is I sat alone in my apartment and I just ripped wrappers, just being like, oh man, this common, looking at all the artwork and just reading the flavor text. I loved it way more than if I had 3 of my closest friends here with me, honestly. And there's definitely something to be said about the interaction with other people.
You guys know where I stand. You guys know absolutely where I stand on that.
Draft. You got to go have the fun. You do what the product was meant for. 100%. Twice over. And I think realistically, where I am at my point in life, I think having that fun twice would be more entertaining. But that is a tough coin to flip.
Not for me. But it's all going to depend on your financial prerogative. Yeah, let's be honest. Most people are buying Magic cards that shouldn't. They're buying boxes that they shouldn't. Had somebody, not going to say who, actually hit me up personally. Hey, you want to buy these cards I have so I can buy some MH3 because I don't have the funds? Clearly, they're not watching anything that I put on the interwebs to ask me to participate in feeding that addiction. That is a terrible. I'm the wrong person to ask that. Like, if you just straight up just begged me for money and didn't even tell me why, you're more likely to get money out of me. But no, I don't, DJ.
It's funny because the amount of times I've seen Bob open stuff, like not that he puts it on video or anything, but he's definitely been like, yo, Pat, check this out. Me and the missus, we were just playing and we opened some shit. These are the polls. Like, yeah.
I just don't. I don't like putting it all over the internet. First off, I'm not one to flex. Secondly, I don't want people to get the wrong idea, right? And I think that any hobby, jet skiing, paragliding, world traveling, like there was some knucklehead I saw on the webs talking about how, they're lying to you. It's all a lie about retirement. And so you should just give up any hope on it and spend all your money and go visit the world now. That's advice he was giving people.
Same thing as you could say about, let's just not have a 401k. Screw it.
That's exactly what he was saying. He said, not only just not 401k, not even a job. Like, just F it.
Hell yeah.
Vagabond around the planet. That's
anyways,
the smart thing to do. What in your 30s and 40s? Let me tell you, folks, that's not the smart thing to do. Not financial advice. Go talk to a financial advisor. And what's crazy is we can laugh about it now when we're younger or when you guys are younger and have this ridiculously idiotic take on it. But when you get to the point where you're going to be struggling, like watch all the videos of the old people. They were young people wanting to travel the world and probably did once. And now they're sitting there crying in their milk because they don't have any milk to cry in. They can't buy their medicines and they can't do anything for their grandkids and they can't even like leave the house and they live in some shithole and can't afford their medical bills. And these are all bad ideas. So looping it all the way back to the conversation, you know, begging me to buy cards off of them so they could buy MH3. Shit, yeah, I could buy those cards. I could buy all the MH3 I really want, not to brag or flex, but I don't, because if I cave into that shit, then I can't buy the things I need and stuff down the road.
Well,
so I'm a bit more judicious.
I think that you have bought all of the Modern Horizons 3 that you wanted.
I did. Every bit of it. 100% already purchased.
That's the thing, is there's two sides to that argument. Do you got the money and do you have the want? You've got the money. It's just the want that's there. And that's the same thing. I've got put on my board here, video ideas. Number 1, why I won't or will interact with Modern Horizons 3. Number 1 reason, subtext, price. Number reason 2, I don't really fucking wanna. Like, there's a certain amount of, yeah, I'd like to, but yeah, I don't want to for what it's going to cost to do it. So there's that like buy-in, price versus fun. And
well, it's the same thing.
Equating that.
Honestly, it's the same exact thing with Commander Masters, right? Let me ask you this: Are there cards out of both of those sets that you would absolutely like to have, like not love, like to have in your collection? But did you? No.
Yeah. Fuck no.
Do you feel incomplete because you didn't interact with it? No.
In no way.
Right.
In no way whatsoever.
Patience, young Padawan. You know.
Yeah.
And if down the road you really, really, really want it, ask yourselves, raise your hands if you're out there hitting the tournament circuit, which I want to talk about the Lorcana tournament circuit, by the way. It's currently ongoing and some surprising things there. I didn't even know they were going to have one, but we'll get back to that and the success I'm seeing so far on that. But I haven't played in a sanctioned tournament. I mean, I don't know, Matt, were those sanctioned tournaments that we played in Vegas, is that considered that? I think maybe some of them somehow. I don't know.
Well, we had to use the companion app. I don't think they're sanctioned. I don't know if limited is. I guess they're limited. So I mean, I guess they're sanctioned.
Okay. Did you care if anybody there even had a proxy in any of those things? No. Nobody checked. Nobody asked. Didn't have to register your decks. So and that's probably the same across 9 out of the 10,000 people that were there, and probably an even greater disparity amongst the broader Magic audience that probably, I'm going to guess 5% actually play in sanctioned tournaments, and I think that's being very generous.
Shit, DJ, that's a good line. I went from the fear of missing out to just missing out, and that's honestly speaking really well to just the price of entry on some of these product lines. I mean, that's the only reason people didn't interact more with Commander Masters is because how ridiculously expensive it was. It's not that we didn't want it, it's that we couldn't get in on it. And because of that, we didn't want it anymore.
You want to know something crazy? So I'm gonna level with everybody. Like inner thoughts that even Sherry Vegas doesn't know. Struggling all week. Be careful. Struggling all week. What product do you think I want to open most of all in TCGs?
Jeopardy noise.
Be very specific to the box.
It's probably going to be. I feel like double featured. We talked about it earlier, how amazing of a product it is. I think you would really want to open some double featured.
I think that's the only video you and I literally did. I think in the history of our channel that shit on a product like before release to say don't buy it. Like literally, I think that's our only review that ever said that.
It's pretty bad.
If you were really lauding after a sealed product right now,
do you think it'd be M30?
Two
Ice Age?
One good option, one dumb option. I would say either Lorcana first chapter, because it is.
Yeah, actually, you nailed it on the first one. You did. That's what I've been struggling with because I'm looking at the boxes at that 200 range going, they don't print these suckers. they're going to get out of like reasonable reach for a long time until the game absolutely flops, right?
Yeah.
I would like to open more, and so instead, that's why I dropped like $500. You're welcome, Ed, to just finish up my play set, just so I have them all, right?
Well,
But
and that's one of the funny things is like I bet you would open it now with a box value, a box price of $250. Whereas,
but you know, no, they're like 210, 215. But at any rate,
no shit.
Think about this. I don't want to open those boxes because I consider them too expensive at $215. Now,
so that's where I was going with
compare that to how much I want to open MH3. Like,
yeah,
no, get back, go away.
I mean, I'll be very, very honest. I do not think that Lorcana is going to die. It's not going to fall off for quite a number of years. I think it's going to stick around. I got a good feels for it. And whether or not in 5 years it's still as popular, air quotes, as it is now, more or less, I think that having a box of the first chapter for the current box price, I would way rather have that than the bunch of like bullshit that I got from all those festival in a boxes from Magic the Gathering, right? So I think having some first chapter sealed on my shelf, I'd feel happier about that than the majority of the stuff that is out currently from other trading card games. And again, back to the point I was trying to make earlier, I think Bob would be way happier opening a box of Lorcana between $2 and $250 instead of 18 months from now when that's a $350 box. It's like, well, I wouldn't open that. Let's be fucking honest. I know Bob's not gonna. That's a dumb idea. Like, let's just let that bet roll.
So my point was, just looking at a price comparison, even at like $100 less, $200 less, I'm hesitant as hell to open a box of the first chapter compared to one 12-pack box of collector Magic the Gathering. I know they're just going to reprint the cards, and whatever I open, it's just going to lose value.
Yeah, the sealed collectability of a Lorcana first chapter box, completely different. I mean, there's a nostalgia item on that.
So I'm just saying, I'm struggling with that. Even the $100 boxes, because what I figured out. So I did some watching, did some deep diving, looking at multiple people open numbers of boxes of Lorcana, and it feels like the best bang for your buck is to open 2 boxes if you want to have a set, right? I'm doing set collecting on Lorcana, and in order to complete a full set,
Alex,
your best bet is to buy 2 boxes and crack that, and then fill the rest with singles. That seems to be the optimal thing. It gives you a reasonable shot, almost a 50-50 at a enchanted card of some sort, and you still get multiple play cards. You get probably close to 3 to 4 of each common and uncommon. And then you're going to get multiple legendaries. You'll get multiple, certainly rares, maybe up to 3 or 4 of each rare. But it seems that that's the sweet spot. 2 boxes is where I would go. Like if it just comes out, wait for it to do its initial drop, few weeks. And then if you're going to open it and you're trying to collect the set, the way to go is to crack 2 boxes, then fill up the singles. I can't hear you. Did I go mute?
What do we got? Five people? Yeah, I don't think it would honestly take that much for us to move the market in sealed boxes of the first chapter. Like, there's 50 listings. So altogether,
I don't trust that. I don't trust that. I don't trust that at all.
They drip feed that. It's not.
Yeah, it's just like M30, right? You watch it and it stays between that 12 and 20 boxes, never more, never less, maybe for a minute, but it's in like they're just drip feeding. I don't know how they're coordinating that amongst the thousands of LGSs, but that seems to be where it's at. Like that's crazy. Even if they sell 4 or 5 boxes,
there's programs that like automatically adjust prices on the fly.
Yeah, but that adjust the price is not about the availability because the boxes are selling. Right?
It can adjust that too. It can match and remove and add. It does all kinds of shit. But I don't know why.
But, okay, I'm just saying it's nutty.
I don't know.
But so talking about like I mentioned earlier, the Lorcana, in case you haven't been paying attention, and Matt, I know you're all over this. I think they call it the challenges is what they call it, or the challenge. Lorcana Challenge. It's basically their pro tour. And they move around quickly. It's like just a couple of days here and there. It started at the end of May, so we're not even at the end of June. And I think they've already had 4 stops. I think it's like one every weekend. I think there's like 9 total, maybe 10 in the world. And from what I've seen, every one of them has sold out tickets.
Wow.
Well, I mean, that's not a surprise. I don't. Why is that a surprise to you, Pat? It's a very popular game. There's no reason that
It's not that it's a surprise.
I don't think it's that popular because it hasn't had that much availability.
Yeah. Well, also, it's not just
sold
that,
out.
but there is an active competitive scene. That's what's surprising to me, is that there are people that do want to play it and how active they are already with pushing this side of the interactive play scene.
I don't know. The way I see it is it's obviously popular, or else it wouldn't sell out every time a new set comes out, or the old stuff selling out and it's desirable at the very least, if not popular.
Event promo just for fucking checking in. Okay.
Yeah, I don't even know what those are. I haven't seen them yet. I thought I saw like a gold foiled Mickey. It was like the top prize.
Honestly, any promo from Lorcana is going to be like instantly worth being there for it.
How's our Gen Con Mickey doing?
No, not very good. Like $60, I think. Between 50 and 60 is what I've seen recently.
No, they're higher than that.
No.
I'm looking at one right now. One's 111, 93, 55, 82, and these are all like bids.
Oh, wow.
I gotta look at completed. I should have sold it for 600. I missed out.
Oh, on the rise too. She was hitting a little low. I was worried for a
and we don't even know how many of those are out there. These are going to be far more common than the promos from winning these challenges.
I can only imagine.
It was a play mat. That's what it was. That was ridiculous. I think I saw a play mat that was like ridiculous.
Whoa. Serialized Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, why don't you look that thing up? I don't even know where you could find that. You'd probably have to be on eBay. I don't know.
What in the?
It's too new. It's less than a month old, so it has no.
Everybody's got to jump on the serialized bandwagon.
Well, you can say the same thing about Magic.
The fuck?
That's everybody.
TCG player check price. I bet this is not a thing. No current listing. Yeah, shit. Eh?
See if eBay has one.
eBay USA.
Dude, I love that art of the Mickey.
Those are from a magazine?
What is that?
PSA magazine, serialized gold dust. What in the collectability are we looking at?
Dude, first off, let's talk about, as a collectible. Disney is, as far as I know, of all
let's
TCG,
be honest, that's
the most collectible.
Fire.
I don't. It does nothing for me, but that's just because I don't know. My buddy said I'm allergic to fun.
I never heard of it. But there is a fanatic. It's called Disneyana, right?
Yeah.
Well, can you find that one on eBay? That card by chance?
Nah, it doesn't come up to anything. Yeah, it's just like from other promos. Oh, $43,000.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, bro.
83 watchers. Dang.
And he sold? Like that's a ridiculous.
Buy it now. Oh, sorry. No, wrong count.
See if there's any.
There's only 500 available. It's insane.
126.
It's gonna be $150.
No, it won't be. There won't be 500 available. It's the top 8.
No, it says right there 126 out of 500. There are 500.
It doesn't mean where are they getting the others? 500. It means that there's a maximum of 500.
What are they just gonna burn them? That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't mean that they made them.
Well, as long as the tournaments all sell out, then they're going to give them. It's top 8. It's not even the first place. It's top 8.
Right, but there's 10 tournaments.
So there's 8 per tournament at the very least.
Right, that's 80 total.
Even if there's 8 tournaments, that's 64. Again, this goes to that is a maximum. It does not mean that they have printed 500 of these.
That's
Does not
exactly
mean
what
that
it
they're
means.
going to give
No,
away.
that's the whole point of serialized cards. They're telling you
No,
exactly
no,
how
no,
many are
no,
going to
no,
be
no.
in circulation.
That is
Yes.
not, to me, that is not the point of a serialized card. The serialized card meaning is that there is a maximum amount of these.
It wouldn't make any sense to not print all 500 and get them into circulation, or else then the serialized means nothing.
Okay, even if they print them, that doesn't mean that they're releasing them here. They might hold on to them for the next year.
Oh, and these is top 4.
Yeah.
So it's not even top 8 for these. If there's
wait a minute.
less than
Up above it said top
1,024
8.
players, they're only giving away 4.
Oh, okay. So there's multiple brackets.
I'll say there's
I
different
got you.
brackets. Yeah.
Yeah, if it has over 1,025, they'll give away 8. So they're playing.
That's still 16 per. That's 160 for the whole tour.
Oh,
right?
this
there
past
10?
weekend was Chicago.
Yeah,
You're gonna
it was sold out.
Fort Worth next month.
Yo, what's up, Time Capsule? So, anyways, the whole point of that for our audience, I don't want to lose them too much. We're having a lot of people in the audience discussing Magic cards. I just wanted to point out, hey, look, there is a tour for Lorcana, and it appears to be pretty healthy.
Mm.
So I find that to be good news for those who care about Lorcana.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a card that has 83 people watching it that's going for $43,000, that's definitely something to like make note of. I mean, Rudy made a video about some fucking card from Part the Mistveil at 5-figure, and this definitely is the same thing.
Sold
if
for 4,000. And there's
more.
a sold listing. That's different.
Is there a sold listing?
Yeah, there's a sold listing on TCG. Somebody paid $4,000 for Enigma New Moon with that Marvel.
Oh, 4,000, not 40,000.
No, 4.
Oh no, I'm talking about the Mickey.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
Was there were no eBay sold listings? Anyways, doesn't matter. The point is, to me, from a Lorcana report for this week, curious that it's pretty healthy. Yeah, I hope you're getting over that, Richie. Need to play some more Diablo 2. But I find that encouraging for those of you that care. Probably the Hillbillies, if they're still with us here. I know Miss Hillbilly is a Lorcana fan, and hopefully she finds that to be good news. I know, Coach, you watch it a little bit. So, it's on track. No reason not to think that it's not doing well. But again, it's always a bit of caution. Not that I'm like Mr. Wishy-washy, but it really is too young. It's less than a year old. Like, let's just be real. Sorcery is older than Lorcana.
That's another one of those games that can just they can just crawl into a corner and die for all I care.
Talk about that. Look at what Cryptic's done. Woo!
I mean, I just can't imagine that Sorcery or any of those other new entry TCGs are going to be able to gain any ground with like the absolute juggernauts that we're seeing in current trading card games.
But the art. I never heard anything about the gameplay. It's all about the art for Sorcery and the beta boxes and alpha boxes.
I thought you were stroking out there for a second.
The art. No, that's all people care about. They just keep screaming the art. Look at the art. I'm like, yeah, it looks like trash. I hate it.
I don't care enough. If you want to talk about art, my favorite art is Lorcana, especially that Mickey. Damn, I love that Mickey.
Oh, gross. My buddy told me that I'm allergic to fun. He's like, you just don't like fun, cutesy things. I'm like, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's some of the waifu shit I've seen that you're into some fun, cutesy stuff, but in a very different lean.
Yeah, I like anime hot waifus. I'm not a child. I like grown up things. I like boobas. I like hot girls. I don't know. I like cool things. I like dudes with swords and like ripped abs and like look like they're gonna destroy you. Like those kind of things. Like I don't know. Just
so you like dudes better than waifus?
No,
I'd like to indulge in the multiple
like
aspects of it, but I have to be like in the mood for it. And widely, Lorcana does not usually fit my mood, but there are definitely days where it's like, oh, I'm feeling wholesome and happy and not you know, caught up in my own issues. So it's like, I'd like to think about Wreck-It Ralph and the fun that they're having on the Rainbow Road. This is going to be an
what the
exciting
fuck is
play.
Wreck-It Ralph? What? I don't even. Is that a real thing? Are you just making that up?
I mean, it's
No,
a
Wreck-It
movie.
Ralph is a real thing, dude. They even made a video game about it. And he's basically Donkey Kong-ish.
I love our comment section. He likes both, Bob. No kink shaming. Yes, kink shaming. Make kink shaming great again.
Because we have the best audience in the world.
If
Love
you like
all of
that
it.
kind of stuff, tune in for our after-hour show where I show you the feet that went in these shoes.
Mk Shiga instead of MAGA, it's Mk Shiga. Make kink shaming great again. Mk Shiga. Yeah, I've never seen Wreck-It Ralph in my life. I feel like I might have heard the words before, but it sounds made up.
Sherry Vegas, if you're listening, we have to watch Peter Pan tonight. You said you would.
Gross.
She didn't know what the second star from the right is.
I don't know what that is either.
Because you're Matt.
I'll be honest, I'm not that innocent either. I only know that it's a Peter Pan reference because I've seen the movie like 10 times and you just referenced it. That's how they get to Never Never Land.
Yes, go to the second star to the right, straight on through till morning.
Nobody talks about how he's abducting children, though.
He's not abducting them. He's
just borrowing them.
How many times has Michael Jackson's lawyer said the same thing?
I will stay up till 3 a.m. to watch Peter Pan with you.
He's not abducting them, though. Yeah, the planet, not the ranch.
Yeah, The Boys. There we go. That's another good show. The Boys. I got to watch season 3. I've watched the first 2 seasons. I waited for the season 3 to come out, and then I forgot about it because I like watching them all in one go. I'll probably do that tonight.
Oh, dude!
I just watched Outer Range season 2 with Josh Brolin.
Boys is good.
Ooh,
I still got to watch the Fallout. I heard that's really good. The
Fallout is honestly really good. There's maybe 30 minutes of the entire series that I would edit out. And it's literally one character's like weird personality interactions. We had a great back and forth over on DJ's channel. He does this thing called Red Eye Nights. Honestly, really great conversation we had.
You didn't have to highlight that comment.
Dude,
I'm with you. Love her. Not a Disney fan.
Dude, the thing about Disney, they sing every 5 seconds, and I'm just like, please shut up.
Bro.
Do you want to build a snowman?
I hate all of the singing. I can't get through any Disney movie that sings every 5 minutes. I can't. It's just
you're a good woman, Sherry.
I want to die in a video game.
A whole new world.
I don't dislike the songs necessarily, but I feel like it disrupts my viewing of the nobody. It's not real. It's like I'd rather see something more realistic.
Well,
where like nobody breaks down
though,
song every 5 minutes. It's just
they didn't do it in The Incredibles.
DJ.
Yeah, The Incredibles was fine. I like The Incredibles. Those are fine.
Freaking incredible.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Those are fine.
Yeah, but there's also like a baby who lights people on fire with laser death beams at the end of it, and one of the main characters
doesn't actually ever hit anybody. It's like
How to Teach a Dragon, or isn't that a Disney movie? How to Train a Dragon?
No, that's DreamWorks.
That's a fine movie. I like that movie. So I like fun kid movies, you know.
Yeah.
What else can I think of? That's
Wall-E.
No,
Wall-E was awesome.
Wall-E's great. And there's like a lot about that movie that speaks to humanity outside of like 2 robots holding hands and shit. It's about like AI taking over and like people screwing up the planet so much we have to leave. I'm
looking through a list of Disney. I mean, obviously Spider-Man.
Over the Hedge. Is that what it was called? That was pretty decent. I like that one. That was fine.
So I never saw it, but I heard Inside Out was great.
Yeah, I heard about Inside Out. That seemed interesting. See, there's no singing in those. Those are fine. There was
Fantasia.
one for Elemental. That one looked okay. That one looked interesting.
No.
But it was kind of like Romeo and Juliet ish. It looked like.
Oh, and big congratulations. Shout out to Russ. First Father's Day tomorrow. Shout out to you as well, Bob. Congratulations on raising a wonderful young daughter. And shout out to you, DJ. And best of luck to you on being the father we all want you to be as well. Keep strong.
I sure still appreciate hearing that.
I'm taking my dad to axe throwing for Father's Day.
Oh,
That's what real men do.
I decided to do this thing. Since my father wasn't there when I was young, I'm not going to be there for him when he's old. So it'll be like this great give and take. It's reciprocal. I think it's the gift he deserves.
A fitting gift for.
It's what he got for me.
Do unto others.
You're just repaying the. So Guardians of the Galaxy, that's a Disney movie that I like. It's a great movie.
There you go. That's outside the box. I like it.
Doctor Strange, another good movie. Thor, great movie. Although Love and Thunder was kind of dog shit.
Whoa, that's like the one I like the most.
Nah, it's too fucking weird.
Well, is that the one where there's also one where he kills a god? The one with Christian Bale as like Gorm the God Killer?
I don't know. Love and Thunder is where like
Dude,
Jane,
Richie, I love it.
Jane?
His Cats in the Cradle arc.
I think it was Jane. She like takes over Thor's hammer and he has to use the axe.
Yeah. Which is what happens in actual Thor lore.
Wait, Avatar's a Disney movie? Avatar's great.
Avatar's fucking terrible. I hate your opinions more now, man.
That was a terrible, awful movie.
It's so fucking bad. It's
the second one was even worse.
No, the original Avatar, not The Way of Water.
The
original was just as bad. Well, it was not as bad, but it was bad.
The thing that I liked about it was revolutionary for visuals for its time.
What? How was that revolutionary? Did you ever see Final Fantasy Advent Children? It came out like 10 years ahead of time.
Yeah, and it looked good for its time. And Avatar was the same way. I remember watching it in theaters and going, this movie is fucking beautifully insane. Watching it in 3D was absolutely gorgeous. Especially at the nighttime where like everything's all glowing and everything's all sparkly and crazy. It was just cool. It's one of the few things that I remember. Like if it sticks into my brain, it was a heightened moment for me. Because there's a lot of movies that I see in theater and I'm like, I couldn't fucking tell you what the hell. Like, the most recent Godzilla was horrible. Not -1. I don't know about that one. But Godzilla versus Kong, it was just what a clusterfuck dumbass movie.
Americans don't make good Godzilla movies.
I will have to throw the one asterisk by Star Wars, and that is the best Star Wars happened to be made by Disney. I hate to admit it with all of my being, but Rogue One, I think, is possibly the best Star Wars ever.
Oh. I think it's terrible.
Rogue One?
Yeah. Oof. It's the one with like the little robot that's like round and it rolls around everywhere, right?
No. You're thinking of The Force Awakens.
Am I?
Yes. With Rey. Yes, you are.
BB-8? Is that right?
Yes.
That thing. Okay.
Terrible. Yes, I agree. That's a bad movie. Rogue One, you obviously haven't seen. That is dope as hell.
Is it on the Netflix?
No. It'll be a Disney Plus. Disney's very.
I'm not going to pay Disney Plus. I will not give them money.
It's on various other websites that.
It's on the internet. If you type in for free online afterwards, not sponsored, you can just go to some Russian ass site and watch it for free. Thank you, my mortal enemies. I'm not paying for that either, Richie. No, it's on Amazon. Thank you.
It blows my mind how many monthly services people pay for, and they just don't like. I don't know. My mom's one of them. She's got like Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, and I'm like, why are you like? Why? It's free online.
Oh, so we started this poll. Well, I started this poll 29 minutes ago. We have 5 votes in, so we're just going to go ahead and close this. Would you rather open a collector box by yourself? Has won 60% over due to drafts. It seems as though 3-2 we have a winner as open a collector box by yourself.
Hell yeah.
You
Bunch
cheeky
of
folks.
cloistered fellow gamers like myself.
I mean, I'll be honest, if I can spend more time not wearing pants, I'm probably gonna take it.
You know, it's also kind of
Whoa,
interesting to do. A lot of times, like because we're content creators, we like do stuff for content. And I actually kind of feel like at times, sometimes I just want to open something and just not have it recorded. Just kind of enjoy it.
100%. 100%. And that's why I play a lot of games by myself. And it's like, well, I would rather just do this thing and have the fun for it. Like I've been looking at some of those fake Grand Archive supporter boxes that we picked up, Matt, right at the end of the show.
Yeah.
They're like $60 a piece. There are cards in there worth hundreds of dollars.
I opened mine. I didn't get
I
anything.
still
really.
got 2 of them because there's so much like other shit that I've been caught up in. And honestly, I've been thinking about doing a thing and oh, hey, I can make 2 longer form content videos because I want to just like get rid of these things. Yeah, well, I just haven't. So I thought about doing it just like solo by myself. It's fun, but it's not. It's a waste of good content.
Yeah, that's another problem. I fight myself. I'm like, if I'm going to open this $400 product, I might as well make a video on it. And then I made the video and I opened the collector's box and it got demonetized because the fucking music that I used apparently is copyright, even though it said no copyright in the title. I'm like, mother. So I can either cut the audio out, which is multiple minutes of the 15-minute video, or I just let it just get demonetized. I mean, you know what? I don't care. It's going to get hundreds of views, which will make 30 cents. I don't care.
You just dub over it afterwards. Like just go through afterwards and basically
they used to have this thing where it would remove the music but keep the words, but that went away.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, go back through and just put audio ex post facto.
Well, but then I'd have to take the video down, edit it, and then put it back up.
Sure, why not?
That's just too much work for the hundreds of views it has. I'm not really concerned about it. If it started like popping off and had like
for the 100 of views it has,
yeah, it's 153 views. If I go to its analytics, it's made a total of 5 pennies. I'm good. Although I was only monetized for a little bit of this, I guess.
It's $1 of tax.
It almost pays for tax for $1. Yeah.
I'd buy that for $1. But all right, I'm sorry. Moving forward, what you guys both got on the docket this week?
Oh man, I'll be honest.
Billy, remind me about 101 Dalmatians. I have a thing I want to try to do, and I just don't know if I want to throw the money.
Oh man, there's nothing like a movie about killing a bunch of dogs to make a coat. Yeah, nobody talks about how cool she was and how fucked it was to try and make other movies about Cruella de Vil and explain how she was a good person. She was trying to kill 101 puppies to make a coat. Yeah, thumbs down.
Oh, there's some dark shit. Like Fantasia is all about tripping on acid.
Pinocchio, they steal young boys to sell into entertainment slavery, where some of them will drink and smoke cigars to such excess it puts them in a stupor that they turn into donkeys, later sold into manual labor. Yeah, Disney. Interesting filmography. So things I've got going on. I just started up playing some Baldur's Gate 3 with another creator. We have figured out some interesting play ideas. Low key, we want to do 4 of the same character class for a playthrough. So like 4 clerics or 4 paladin or
4 clerics would be very strong. Clerics are one of the most
like,
in the
we
game.
started doing right now. We just did 7 hours of a playthrough earlier. It was 3 warlocks and 1 fighter, just so we had somebody on the front lines. And once we kind of like figured everything out, we were still ridiculously overpowered.
Yeah, because warlocks are strong too.
Well, so no matter what class you go into it, as long as you have 2 player characters, you know what's going on and you have battlefield control in a way you would not normally. So we could do 4 of the most neutered class and still have a pretty powerful playthrough. And I think that would be fun as long as we choose something thematic. So if we did like 4 rangers, okay, they're all from like the same Assassin's Guild. and we're all going out and just murder hoboing everybody. Okay, we're all 4 clerics, but we're all from the same clergy. So we have to like role play in a certain way. I think that would be real fun. So we've got some stuff working on that in the background. What about you guys?
I just found out that they brought back. There's an option to actually mute just the song. It was just not on mobile. Anyways, as far as what I'm doing, I'm playing Genshin Impact. I'm playing Wuthering Waves. Those are the 2 main things I'm doing now. I plan to do a Modern Horizons 3 draft and some games. So that'll be recorded. So that'll be on the channel. I don't know how I'm gonna do it because the last series that I did not perform well, and I'm not entirely sure why. The entire series got almost 100 views, which isn't worth. I mean, if people just don't want to watch it, then it's not worth the time of me doing it or recording it. So maybe instead of doing different videos, maybe you'll just do draft and all the games in one video and see how that does. But I know a lot of people don't have the attention span to watch a 2 or 3 hour video, so I don't know if that's going to be a good thing. But try it out. Whatever people want. If they don't want to ever watch me draft an arena, I'm okay with that as well. I guess.
I do not agree, Hillbilly. I think Matt would hate Frozen.
You know what's funny about Frozen is like I kind of want to watch it just because I'm unaware of all of the like the memes about it, or like the do you want to build a snowman? I know the song. I've heard the song.
You gotta love Olaf. If you watch it, that's the only thing I can say. The rest of it is like, yeah, okay.
I can say that Elsa's hot. That's about the only thing that I can remember is like I don't know about it in the original Frozen, but I've seen like she's definitely grown up in.
So apparently there's like a whole thing for the internet community that Elsa's character was based off of this film star.
Yeah, she's hot.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a porn star. I see. The first thing is porn.
Yeah.
I don't know how much we're gonna get demonetized now. They might.
He didn't show anything.
Strike our video. Give us a strike.
I said fucking hour and a half ago. They stopped giving a shit. Or
well, yeah, we're probably not
monetized anyways. So
yeah, I'll say I monetized our last video, and we didn't because I'm like, oh, Pat forgot to monetize it. Nothing happened.
Nah, I don't do that for our streams anymore.
You probably shouldn't. We should probably just get our.
So you're doing some Genshin Impact.
Yeah, I'm doing free to play Genshin Impact, which is actually difficult for me because like there's so many things like when you're playing a gacha game, there's so many like the game can be you can spend thousands of dollars just to get one character. That's like Wuthering Waves is like Genshin, so I paid $600 to get like 4 copies of one character, and you can still get 3 more copies of that character in order to get their like max potential. But I'm like, that would take another $600 if I'm unlucky, so I don't want to do that. $600 was enough. I basically, there's like a power level. It goes like, let's say they're like 100% of their power. Then like the first copy gives you like, we'll say 10% or 15%. And then the second is another 20 and the third percent. It's kind of like their spike typically. So like getting 3 copies is like the best bang for your buck. It's not, don't do it. But if you were to do that, it's the best bang for your buck. And in every gacha game I've ever played, I typically give them, $5 here, $10 here. I don't normally wail like that. But I think Wuthering Waves is Genshin, but for adults, and is better in every way. It's just about. But I figured I would go back and I would play Genshin because I played it when it first came out. Didn't like it. I bounced off it really hard. Like within like I think an hour or 2 of playing it, I'm like, this game's not for me. I'm out. And I'm now playing it again to kind of because I've played Wuthering Waves, and I'm like, if people are comparing it to Genshin, I want to get that comparison. But then for some reason, maybe because I've spent so much money on gacha games, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna have this be free to play. To get that free. I've never actually played a gacha game as free to play, so
you should talk to my daughter. She's played a shitload of Genshin Impact.
Yeah, you were saying it's really expensive, so
yeah.
Well, and also when I was at Walmart, I picked up one of these Modern Horizons 3 bundles. So
how much was it? $120?
Oh shit, no.
No, that's not the collector one.
No.
That's just
I want to say it was $79.
That's not terrible.
No.
Well, I found that like Walmart prices are typically bad. Like I'll like scan them and I'll look at them. I'm like, why are they so bad?
Yeah. Well, so what's funny is somebody had put a Murders at Karlov collector booster Omega box in front of a bunch of Modern Horizons 3 stuff.
Oh, to try to hide it, maybe?
Yeah, so I don't know if somebody was like, screwing around, moving things around and had no idea, or were actively trying to hide things. But there were easily 50 blister packs and 2 or 3 of these hidden behind one of those Omega things. Like the whole section of it had been pushed back and moved behind it. Quite suspicious.
Well, I've been looking at, besides Lorcana, which I'm actually itching to try out my new deck against Ursula, the co-op version. But outside of that, I've been looking at a game called Pox Day. Asmongold had reviewed it, and there was like a whole tribe of people that built this baller looking like mountain fortress during like some alpha phase.
What's the name of it?
Pox Day, PAXDEI. PAX space DEI. And it's an open world sandbox. That's got me a little hesitant. Why don't you put up the video, or at least what you're looking at? The graphics look amazing, and I recommend watching the. I don't know about trailers because they do things, but like I would watch like the Asmongold review of it because it was just like unbelievable what people had done. They built like this entire mountain fortress, and so depending on like what kind of account you buy, you get like plots of land, and if you join guilds, you can pool your plots of land to build like massive fortresses instead of just like your little farmhouse. So that I thought was pretty cool. It won't be all like exclamation points.
Yeah. Yeah, we figured out how to get audio through, which is kind of cool.
Oh, nice. That's
dope. Where we belong. Exploring this vast and wondrous world. Its treasures
kind of like Pax Romana, I guess is what you're saying. Where they get the Pax.
I'm assuming these are just cinematic graphics. These aren't like in-game graphics.
Well, that's why I say watch the Asmongold because he has in-game. They're not far off from me. Not at all.
Well, these graphics look pretty good.
The greater the rewards.
But what do you do? These trailers are always freaking useless. They don't tell you anything about the game.
PvP is like it's going to be very heavy PvP focused. There are like dangerous areas to go get. Like everything is player crafted. There's nothing you can buy from vendors, and there's nothing that drops from the monsters. But you can get resources to take back to your crafters that exist in towns that are all player created to gear people up. It's a sandbox MMO. So that kind of appeals to me, that it's not cookie cutter kind of.
Like Conan? Is that the game that is that?
Oh, right? Conan Exiles.
Yeah, is that?
But check out, see if you can find Asmongold Pax Day. And just like look at some of it. It's unbelievable. Like I was blown away by the quality of it. And they're like, I guess server events that happen where they got like raided when it was night. Then the vampires and zombies came, and they had to defend their city, and it was pretty impressive. And he was just running around, talking about stuff, and they're calling him king and all that stuff. But whatever.
There seem to be a number of people on.
What?
Holy moly. Yeah, that's like a big MMO.
For what?
Oh, it stopped sharing.
Pax Day?
So I'll talk about like the engineering of it, of like how I think we should do it. And then
we just had
the wood and everything.
Get up to where he gets to the castle.
People on.
By the rocks. Also build like piecemeal stuff right now.
It seems as though
we don't want to have this
quite a load of people on it.
Can you actually climb?
Fine enough.
Well,
they're building
on it because
the whole mountain.
Build this whole area
is their fortress.
A massive stone platform.
The moment Asmongold touches any game, it immediately gets an influx of a bunch of his followers. It's not. That doesn't mean it's a good game. It still could be, but I'm just saying. Just because he plays a game doesn't mean it's good.
But you're not like showing the city. Like the whole mountain is their fortress. Yeah, I don't see any of the buildings because maybe this is like earlier on. I don't
Harry
think
would
so.
up. He built
But like
in
the
this
whole
area.
mountain is their
Wait.
actual fortress.
Most games that
Yeah,
have
it
a
seems as
stamina
though they're
system
able
don't
to
really need
build
to.
quite freely.
What's the point of the game?
Jesus,
Is it
not
like a
reviving.
survival
Okay, just a
game,
minute.
like Ark and
That's what
Conan,
I'm
or is it?
Accepting the
picking
revive
up
from
off
Jesus.
of it is it's like a
Thank you.
survival MMO.
I'm
So somewhere between like Ark
Wait,
and
what?
WoW, maybe.
This must be like an earlier version because they haven't built the
I don't
fortress.
know where the
It
fuck
looks
I
like
think
the
this guy is.
castle, like the one that I watched him.
Oh, I know this guy.
It looked like
Tried to join
the
guild.
castle in Lord of the Rings that was built into the
Okay,
mountainside,
So this guy is
the White City.
With rapid advance money, so they released the remake. My verdict is the game.
Listen.
What's
if-
his verdict? What are you
if they released
doing?
a game like this, it would die. It would instantly die. We'll see what happens, man. Guess what? The game doesn't even have AoE spells. Well, I think that really.
Okay.
No.
Well,
All right, I'm making the character.
seems as though they've been able to build.
The priority.
Well, I mean, you got to see it from like a distance. It looks like a massive fortress, and I assume they're all like in the same guild. There you go. You're kind of getting scale, but like that whole mountain
That's the most
is their
important.
fortress.
Everything
They
else
own it. Their guild.
is-
That's theirs. And I guess there's like PvP where they can raid your fortress. Other people can.
And I understand,
guilds
guys,
can raid
that like it
your
might
guild.
not look good right now, but if you just give it probably like I think it'll probably take 10 hours to do this. I'm not sure.
And I
though.
guess he comes back because I saw it when it had a lot more done to it,
Well,
and all those
plus,
people
it's gonna be
didn't. They weren't
problematic.
dressed like that, like cavemen. But that's the basic gist of it. So I guess it's to build and raid, but you're raiding other people, not like cookie cutter raids. And wow,
One of the problems that I have with Ark Survival is you can't terraform the planet, which frustrates me.
Yeah.
Like if they had like
what
Ark,
degree?
if Ark had Valheim's terraforming abilities, the game would be insane.
so it'll have like similar elements to all of that. Like it's a survival sandbox MMO. So
Is it like
that kind of turns me off because I
Like
hate
that kind of
PvP.
stuff, you should check out Minecraft. It was made by this indie developer, and the graphics
I was
aren't
playing-
that great, but really
I was playing
interesting.
some this week, and I got bored real quickly, realizing I don't like playing Minecraft just by myself. It just kind of loses the lure.
I've got like 3 worlds that I spent like 15 hours in each, and then was like, nah, I'm kind of fucking done.
But when I played with you guys, I was looking forward like each day to logging in and hey, what have you guys done? What are we doing? What do you guys want to go?
I
Look at
mean,
shit because
realistically, that's something we could lean into is start hosting a server, and that's just like free content. It just
we
comes
should
down to
play
editing.
Valheim together. I think if you like Minecraft,
I might be
you'd like
down. You might be,
Valheim.
but is Valheim all PvP?
No, it's no PvP. We all can join. We can all join in the same world. I can host the server. I have that ability. I have a really good host
Or
server,
Ascended or something.
and I have.
I mean, like-
I think Valheim is super good.
Send me a link on Facebook. I'll do it.
What do you mean a link?
I'm in a game hole at the moment.
He's in a hole.
What do you mean by send you a link to what? To the game on Steam?
Valheim, how to get logged in and all that shit, or
Oh,
is it just
you gotta
Google it,
buy
or
it,
is
but-
it Steam?
It's on Steam, yeah.
Like- all right.
Yeah. It's a very popular game. It's a very good game. They just actually came out with their most recent expansion called the Firelands or the Tornado Lands, or it's a fire plane.
Oh
it's-
shit! Richie's been playing it too. Fuck.
Valheim's so good. It's
It's on
so.
Game Pass.
Oh, is it
What?
on Game Pass? Oh, that's even better.
What?
So you guys can play it for free. Well, Pat can play it for free. I don't know if Bob has Game Pass.
I do not.
It's a.
Are you
cheap
talking
game,
about the
I think it's only-
Microsoft PC Game Pass? Dude,
Yeah,
I just went
Xbox
through a
Game
whole
Pass.
ass pain with that.
Yeah, I think Steam. I think it's only $20 anyways. It's not expensive. I don't think, if I remember correctly. I don't remember paying it a lot. It
Either
might be
way.
on Game Pass. It would make sense. There's a lot of stuff on Game Pass.
Yeah.
And won't you have to like send me something to let me know how to get in touch with you in game and get hooked up and all that
Yeah,
shit?
yeah. On my server, I think you'll need like the IP of the server or something like that. I've already opened the ports on it, so it's not that hard.
Okay. That's definitely something worth looking at. We might be able to get into that.
Sure. Apparently, since I'm not watching Peter Pan tonight,
Awesome. Well, hey guys,
right.
this has been awesome. Anything before we get going for the evening?
Yeah, they just announced Lorcana, the next set. It is shit. How do I get myself out of the way?
The Shimmering
Skies.
Skies.
Let me
Disney's
be smart
Lorcana
about.
trading
Let me
card
be
game.
a little better about professionalism. There we go. Shimmering Skies. There was a whole lot of Wreck-It Ralph in an upcoming set. I just saw some of the spoilers today. Probably most of you won't care about the actual spoilers. It looks like they're not putting out another co-op version. Instead, the special thing that they're releasing with this new set is going to be a beginner set. So it'll be specifically geared towards people that have never played Lorcana.
Oh, some starter stuff. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a starter pack. We can pull up the product list next week. I don't want to get into that tonight. We're kind of late. But that was just
talk about Assassin's Creed on the 18th, the debut, man.
We're just gonna pretend that Matt didn't say anything.
I have a buddy that's pre-ordered 2 boxes of it, and I'm like, you don't. He's been out of Magic for a while, and I'm like, dude, that is a mistake. You should cancel that. He's like, but I really want it, and I'm like, yeah, but like the moment it comes out, it's gonna plummet by like 30 to 40% at least. Your pre-order price, dude. Do you know how much those boxes are? Try to guess how much the Beyond the boxes are of Assassin's Creed.
$150.
You're close. They're 130.
But I'm still like one of the that what was that called? The Aftermath.
That's the problem. It's like Aftermath.
I still want I want the Nissa that's in that. I don't have one yet.
Yeah, Nissa's good. I've been playing it in Teamer analysis.
And I still want my Street Chef for a Commander Raids deck out of that. Was it Rocco the Street Chef or whatever his name is?
Yeah, Rocco Cabaret one.
But does that justify buying a box? One. Right? What's that?
You talking about the Jund one or the Golgari one?
I don't know. The one that's in Aftermath.
It's probably I don't remember. I don't know.
It's like everybody gets to exile a card, and then by their next turn they get to play that card.
Oh yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
So it's kind of like a group huggish. It's a huggy one. Honestly, it was some other YouTube channel. I don't remember the dude's names. I probably have to get that and give him a shout out here. But you should be able to find it rather quickly.
Just Google Lorcana Shimmering. What is it? Stars?
Skies. Spoilers.
Shimmering Sky spoilers. There should be multiple pages of it.
Which is honestly a terrible name for Wreck-It Ralph because a lot of that movie was based around fucking race cars, not anything flying. That's just whatever.
Well, but there's like a whole other thing, that's specific to Lorcana. There is an actual story going on in the background. There was something happening with whatever that.
Like all the ink.
City.
Yeah.
So there's like a story going on behind it. It's not the Wreck-It Ralph set. There is a theme going on with all of the Lorcana stuff, driving an overall story arc. If you will.
You guys see what I did? See what I did over here? Like that?
Oh damn, son!
I did all the.
It's all backwards.
Well,
I mean, whatever.
So yeah, I plan to. There's still miniatures here. I'm like moving my miniatures upstairs where I played D&D. It just makes sense to have all the miniatures up there, and then I'm gonna have all the Magic product lining the wall. And it's funny. Look at how clean they fit. A lot of the ones. I don't know. Can we make me bigger? Make me bigger. That's the wrong. There we go. Whoop. A lot of the ones, these ones here, these fit perfectly in between here, which is wild because I didn't plan that. They just happen to fit perfectly. Now, some of them, like this one here, whatever this one is too fucking tall. It doesn't fit in any of the shelves.
Oh, one of the older Commander boxes.
Yeah, one of the older ones. So this one has to just kind of sit there on the bookshelf, which is, I guess, fine.
Gotta love Watsy's consistency.
Then you've got these small ones. These are the Modern Horizons 3. These are the 4 of them. And they're very small, but they fit at the top shelf, which is good. And then these are the Commander Masters over here. And I've got all 4 there. And then there's Strixhaven. And then there's the Fallout ones. I got all 4 Fallout. And then these are the Warhammer 40K. And then I have a timey-wimey Doctor Who deck, but I think I returned the other ones or something. I think I only have the one that's worth money. I don't know. I returned the majority of them. But yeah, just a cool little, I've got a dragon thing here. These things are cool. You just like build like wooden things and you staple them on there and you got like this really cool.
Oh yeah,
dragon.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a stormtrooper I have in my living room is like that.
Awesome.
All right,
Well,
guys.
yeah,
I think we should wrap it up here. Thank you, everyone that came out and joined us tonight. As always, seriously, we appreciate your time, and we love seeing you here on the weekends. And really, a shout out, appreciate those that are our channel members. That really does add a sense of encouragement to have us, keep showing up Saturday after Saturday and sharing with you what we're finding out there in the world of cardboard and gaming. So, very good to see all of you.
Yeah, consider liking the video, sharing with your friends. That's free. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I don't know why you
Also
wouldn't be
free.
if you've watched over an hour and 50 minutes of us.
Yeah,
If you haven't
2 hours
subscribed
in and
now,
you
I don't
haven't
know what's
subscribed.
happening. And then, of course, if you'd like to contribute to the show at all, we have a membership service. Of course, you can check that out in the down below. There's a bunch of different tiers that I haven't advertised at all yet because I'm lazy. Yeah, I think there's some cool stuff in there. So maybe one day I'll do a video just on our membership perks.
Smash that
Thanks
like.
for
All
watching.
right, everybody. Thank you
Take
again.
care.
Thank you guys for being here. It's always a pleasure to be here with you, Matt and Pat, and everybody in the audience. Thanks again. Have a wonderful Father's Day tomorrow. Congratulations, DJ, on your first one.
Heck yeah. Take care. Bye.